Hey everyone, welcome back. Now, we'll be diving into a topic that I know weighs heavily on the minds of many parents, myself included, which is keeping our kids safe in the digital world. It is like a whole separate world with its own rules of engagement. Think about it. Have you ever caught yourself staring at your child engrossed in their tablet or phone, and a little wave of worry washes over you? You wonder, who are they talking to? What are they seeing? Are they okay? This is completely natural. We all have those moments of uncertainty because let's face it, the online world can be a fantastic place for learning, connecting with friends and family, and exploring creativity. I mean, the resources available at our children's fingertips are incredible, but, and there is a big but, it also has its own shadows. It's like a bustling city. There are amazing opportunities around every corner, but there are also some dark alleys you want your kids to avoid. And as parents, we are essentially the tour guides, trying to help them navigate these complex landscapes safely. This isn't about instilling fear, though, absolutely not. It's about empowering both you and your child. It's about giving you the tools and knowledge you need to feel confident in guiding your child through the digital world, and about equipping your child to make smart, safe choices online. You want them to enjoy the benefits of technology while minimizing the risks. So, we are going to break this down into manageable chunks, tackling some of the key areas of online safety one by one. And I promise to give you practical, actionable strategies, things you can actually do starting today, not just abstract advice. Now, let's start with something that unfortunately is far too common: cyberbullying. We all know what bullying is, right? It's been around forever, but cyberbullying has a whole new layer of complexity. It's basically bullying that takes place online using text messages, social media, online gaming platforms, you name it. It can take so many forms: spreading nasty rumors, sending mean or threatening messages, posting embarrassing pictures or videos without someone's consent, deliberately excluding someone from an online group. The list goes on. One of the most challenging things about cyberbullying is that it can be much more harder to detect than traditional face to face bullying. It often happens in the digital shadows, out of sight of parents and teachers. A child can be sitting right next to you, seemingly engrossed in a game, and be silently enduring a torrent of abuse. That's why it's so important to be aware of the signs. So, what should you look for? Well, there's no single foolproof indicator, but changes in your child's behavior are often a red flag. As your normally outgoing child become withdrawn and quiet, are they suddenly anxious or depressed? Do they seem reluctant to use their devices, or do they get upset after being online? Are they secretive about what they are doing online, hiding their screens, or quickly closing windows when you walk into the room? Are they losing interest in activities they used to enjoy, like sports or hobbies? Are they having trouble sleeping or eating? Now, any one of these things could be caused by something else entirely. But if you notice a pattern or if you have a gut feeling that something is not right, trust your instinct. Talk to your child. And I know that conversation can be hard. They might be embarrassed, ashamed, or scared to tell you what's going on. They might worry that you will overreact or that you will take away their devices. So, how you approach this is important. Create a safe space. Let them know explicitly that they can talk to you about anything without fear of judgment or punishment. Start by saying something like, I've noticed you seem a little down today, and I'm worried about you. Is everything okay? You can talk to me about anything, and I promise I won't get mad. And then listen, really listen. Don't interrupt, don't lecture, don't jump to conclusion. Just let them talk and validate their feelings. Even if you think their reaction seems disproportionate to the situation, remember that their feelings are real to them. You might say something like, that sounds really awful. I can understand why you are so upset. If they do open up and tell you they are being cyberbullied, your first priority is to offer support and reassurance. Let them know that it's not their fault and that they did the right thing by telling you. Then take practical steps. Document everything. Save screenshots of the messages, post, or whatever form the bullying is taking. This evidence will be crucial if you need to report the bullying. and you should report it. Most social media platforms and online games have reporting mechanisms. Use them and don't hesitate. If the bullying is severe, involve threats of violence, or includes any kind of sexual content, contact law enforcement. Don't feel like you need to handle this on your own. And if your child is the one doing the online bullying, that requires a very different but equally important conversation. Now, let's move on to a topic that can be particularly unsettling for parents: online predators. And I want to emphasize right from the start that this isn't about scaring you or your children. It's about awareness and about taking sensible precautions. It's about empowering your kids to navigate the online world safely, just like you teach them to look both ways before crossing the street. So, what exactly are online predators? Simply put, they are adults who use the internet to try to connect with children, usually for sexual or exploitative purposes. They are master manipulators. They might pretend to be kids themselves, creating fake profiles on social media or in online games. They might spend weeks or even months building a relationship with a child, gaining their trust before ever making an inappropriate suggestion. They are very good at what they do, which is why it's so important to be vigilant. The key here is age appropriate communication. You don't want to terrify your 5-year-old with graphic details, but you do want to start laying the groundwork for online safety from a young age. For younger children, the conversation might be as simple as, you know how we talk about not talking to strangers in the park? It's the same online. There are people online who might not be who they say they are, so it's important to be careful. You can use analogies they understand. For example, just like you wouldn't open the door to a stranger at home, you shouldn't talk to strangers online. As they get older, you can gradually provide more information. Explain that some adults pretend to be kids online to try to trick them or hurt them. Emphasize that they should never share personal information with anyone they don't know in real life. Things like their full name, address, phone number, school name, or even photos. Make sure they understand that it's never okay to meet someone they've met online in person without a parent or trusted adult present. This is a non negotiable rule. And importantly, create an environment where your child feels comfortable coming to you if anything online made them feel uneasy, uncomfortable, or scared. Let them know that they can always talk to you no matter what without fear of getting in trouble. That open communication is your best defense. You might say something like, if anyone online ever asks you for personal information or says anything that makes you feel weird or asks you to keep a secret from me, I want you to tell me right away. You won't be in trouble. I'm here to help you. And then listen. If your child does come to you with a concern, take it seriously. Don't dismiss it or downplay it. Validate their feelings and take appropriate action. It's also a good idea to familiarize yourself with the platforms and app your child is using. Spend some time exploring them, understanding how they work, and checking the privacy settings. Many platforms have built-in safety features that you can utilize. The goal here isn't to spy on your child, but to be aware of their online world and to be able to offer guidance and support. It's about being an informed and informed parent, just as you will be in their offline life. Think of it as knowing your child's friends and their parents in real life. You want to have a sense of who your child is interacting with online too. And knowing the general vibe and layout of the site is really useful. Next up, let's tackle another big concern for parents: inappropriate content. The internet is a vast and wonderful resource, but let's be honest, it's also a bit of a wide west. There's a lot of stuff out there that we don't want our kids stumbling across: violent content, sexually explicit material, hate speech, and just generally things that are not age appropriate. So, how do we protect them? Well, there's no magic wand and no single solution that's 100% foolproof. But there are tools and strategies you can use to significantly reduce the risk. Think of it like layers of protection. The more layers you have, the better. The first layer is parental control software. This is software that you can install on your computers, tablets, and smartphone. It allows you to do things like block access to specific websites, set time limits for screen use, and monitor your child's online activity. Some even allow you to track your child's location. There are many different parental control software options available, ranging from free versions to the basic features to paid subscriptions with more advanced capabilities. I'm not going to recommend any specific brands here because the best choice for your family will depend on your individual needs, your budget, and the devices you use. But I strongly encourage you to do some research and find a solution that works for you. Another layer of protection is safe search settings. Most major search engines like Google, Bing, and YouTube have safe search options that you can enable. These settings help to filter out explicit content from search results. They are not perfect and things can sometimes slip through the cracks, but they are definitely a valuable tool. To enable safe search, you usually just need to go into the settings of the search engine or app and look for the safe search or restricted mode option. It's usually a simple toggle switch. You can also use content filtering apps on your child's smartphones and tablets. These apps can block access to inappropriate websites and apps, and some can even filter content within apps. Again, there are many different options available, so do some research to find one that meets your need. Now, it's important to understand that these tools are not a substitute for parental involvement. They are helpful, but they are not a replacement for talking to your kids about online safety, monitoring their online activity, and being involved in their digital lives. Think of it like this: you wouldn't just put a helmet on your child and set them out to ride their bike without teaching them how to ride safely, right? You will teach them the rules of the road, you will practice with them, and you will keep an eye on them. It's the same with online safety. The tools are like the helmet, they provide a layer of protection, but your guidance and involvement are essential. So, curfew, as we discussed earlier, spend time online with your kid. See what they are watching, what they are playing, who they are interacting with. Use this opportunity to have conversations about online safety and responsible digital citizenship. And remember, no filter is perfect. Things will eventually slip through. That's why that open communication is so vital. Your child needs to know they can come to you if they see something that upsets them, confuses them, or makes them feel uncomfortable. And be sure to check in regularly. Don't assume that just because you've installed parental controls, everything is fine. Stay involved, stay informed, and keep the lines of communication open. Now, let's shift our focus to something that's incredibly important in the digital age: privacy. We live in a world where information is constantly being collected, shared, and sometimes unfortunately misused. And it's important to teach our children how to protect their personal information online right from the start. Think of personal information like valuable treasure. You wouldn't leave your most prized possession lying around in a public place, would you? You will protect them and keep them safe. It's the same with personal information online. So, what exactly is personal information? It's anything that can be used to identify someone either directly or indirectly. It includes things like your full name, address, phone number, email address, your child's school name, date of birth, photos and videos, location information as well. And it's not just about protecting this information from strangers, it's also about being mindful of what you share with people you do know online and even with friends and family, because once something is out there, it's out there. The first line of defense is strong passwords. This might seem basic, but it's incredibly important. A weak password is like leaving your front door unlocked. It makes it easy for someone to break in and steal your valuable information. So, help your child create strong, unique passwords for all of their online accounts. And I mean unique. Don't use the same password for everything. If one account gets compromised, they all get compromised. A strong password should be at least 12 characters long, and it should include a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. And it should be something that's not easy to guess, not their name, their birthday, the name of their pet, or anything that someone could easily find out about them. There are password manager apps that can help you and your child create and store strong passwords. This can be a great option, especially for older children who have multiple online accounts. Next, let's talk about privacy settings. Most social media platforms, online games, and apps have privacy settings that allow you to control who can see your child's profile, post photos, and other information. Take the time to sit down with your child and review these settings together. Adjust them to the most restrictive level that is appropriate for their age and maturity level. For younger children, this might mean making their profiles completely private so that only approved friends and family can see their information. For older children, you might allow them to have a bit more control, but still with careful monitoring. And it's not just about social media. Even seemingly harmless apps and websites can collect personal information. So be mindful of what information your child is providing when they sign up for new accounts or download new apps. Read the privacy policy or at least skim them to see what information is being collected and how it's being used. Teach your child to be skeptical. Teach them to question why an app or website needs certain information. Does a flashlight app really need access to their contacts or location? Probably not. And perhaps most importantly, emphasize the importance of never sharing personal information online with people they don't know in real life. This includes strangers they meet in online games, on social media, or in any other online forum. It's a constant learning process and it's something that you need to revisit regularly as your child grows and their online activities change. But by starting early and having this conversation openly and honestly, you can help your child develop good online privacy habits that will protect them for years to come. Now, let's talk about something that's closely related to privacy but has even longer term implications: your child's digital footprint. This is a concept that's important for kids to understand even at a young age. So, what exactly is a digital footprint? Is the trail of data that you leave behind whenever you use the internet. Every website you visit, every social media post you make, every photo you share, every online game you play, every search you conduct, it all adds to your digital footprint. Think of it like footprint in the sand on a beach. Each step you take leaves an imprint, but unlike footprint in the sand, which can be washed away by the tide, your digital footprint is often permanent. It can be very difficult and sometimes impossible to completely erase something once it's been posted online. And that's why it's so important to teach our children to think before they post, to be mindful of what they are sharing online, and to understand that their actions can have lasting consequences. Screenshots can be taken, things can be shared, and information can be copied and pasted. And that information can be seen by a wide audience, not just their friends and family, but also potential employers, college admission officers, and even law enforcement. I like to use the analogy of a permanent marker versus a pencil. When you write something in pencil, you can erase it, but when you write something with a permanent marker, it's there to stay. Posting something online is more like using a permanent marker. So encourage your child to ask themselves some key questions before they post anything online. Will I be comfortable with my parents, my teachers, or my future boss seeing this? Is this something that could potentially hurt or embarrass someone else? Is this something that could get me in trouble? Is this something I might regret later? Am I revealing personal information? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then they should probably think twice before posting. It's also about teaching them to be respectful and responsible online citizens, to treat others with kindness and consideration, and to avoid engaging in any behavior that could be harmful or hurtful. This isn't about scaring them or stifling their creativity. It's about empowering them to make smart choices online and to understand that their actions have consequences. It's about helping them build a positive digital footprint, one that reflects their values and their character. Because increasingly our digital footprints are becoming part of our overall identity. They are a reflection of who we are, what we believe in, and how we interact with the world. And it's important for our children to understand that and to take ownership of their online presence. So, have those conversations early and often. Talk to your kids about their digital footprint. Help them understand the implication of their online activity and encourage them to be thoughtful, responsible, and respectful digital citizens.